I got stuff for you.
Holy moly. I need to get some snakes and release them around my house.
But they love eating people. They love eating kids.
These guys are the scientists of the supernatural, lecturers leaving lessons for inquiring laymen. They are applying the scientific method to a world that baffles science. They are the cryptids of the corn.
Every day that you open your mouth,
I know, right?
I'm more convinced that you're abducted by aliens.
No.
And it just stood up. I mean, it just like kept going and going. And she goes, what the?
These are idiots.
I was laughing reading this because I already knew how you would feel.
Idiot. What part of the story fits your balloon?
Well,
This isn't a UFO. But who else has big black wings and red eyes?
Batman.
Well, Mothman.
Oh yeah, Mothman.
Well, everyone, I think we know exactly what it is. So say it all with me. It was the sandhill crane.
Would you try it?
No.
You wouldn't eat it?
No.
Why?
Because they're probably toxic. There'd be a lot of poop in my pants. I've seen a 6-foot alligator go swinging through the air and slam into a tree. What's that? Flying overhead.
Is that a jellyfish?
No, I think it's Congress.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's probably a better guess. That's probably a much more accurate guess.
If anybody ever thinks any of the bits are scripted, I didn't tell you anything before.
Bits?
Yeah, just doing that stuff. Oh my gosh. No.
Yes, and.
Yes, and always. No, but.
No, that don't work.
I know it's the enemy first. Not
yes,
stand
and.
up. I forget. Sketch comedy. Yeah, it's the enemy. All right, you ready?
No, but.
The UFO hearings. A bunch of our Patreon members. We have a Discord for the Patreon members. They were talking about the UFO hearings a couple weeks back. As of recording this, a couple weeks as of recording this, it comes out in a couple weeks. So about a month ago for the UFO hearings.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So as we're recording this, very fresh.
Very fresh. They are crazy. They wanted us to review them and go over some stuff, so we're going to do that. We got our front of house stuff. So first big thing is live shows. We have several live shows coming out next year. So what a live show is, we are going to go to a place and we put on an hour live podcast. There's a couple hours to hang out with us before, a couple hours to hang out afterwards. Most of them are at like bars, restaurants, those kind of things. So you can eat and hang out. So you get your tickets below and it'll just say live show links. So our first one we have that is public is the live show in North Little Rock, Arkansas.
There you go.
With Drunken Cryptids, with the
Yeah.
Matthews podcast.
Just award-winning Drunken Cryptids podcast.
The number one documentary podcast in all of Arkansas.
That's a woo.
Ooh, no, good job. He deserves it. So super excited for that one. That is April 5th, North Little Rock at Old Bart's.
Old Bart's Barbecue.
Not old.
Old Bart's.
But yeah, the links are below. I think tickets for that, I don't remember how much they are. They're the links below. I'm not even going to guess because I'm working on a whole bunch of them behind the scenes, so I don't want to say the wrong number for the wrong thing.
It's right below in the description of this episode.
Seating is very limited at all these events. So once it sells out, it sells out. Tickets are pretty affordable in our opinion. So come out, hang out, have a beer with us. I know a lot of our live shows are video based because we don't get to do that with the podcast side of it. Mm-hmm. And I've already been starting to collect videos for this next one.
Ooh, exciting.
Because there's some really weird stuff, like the UFOs and everything like that. So there's that. So Drunken Cryptids, Cryptids of Corn, North Little Rock, Arkansas, April 5th. Get your tickets below.
Yeah, cryptidscorn.com.
Cryptidscorn.com. And you can just do the Eventbrite link right below.
Or that too.
Yeah, either one. It doesn't matter. Hometown legend stuff. I need your hometown legend stuff. Email us, message us on Facebook, Instagram. I don't care how you get it to me. If you have a special hometown legend, a Crybaby Bridge, a witch house, a cryptid, any of the paranormal, the UFO crash, any of that stuff, please send me your hometown legend stuff. I would love it. It's for a special project. I think some of you already guessed what the special project is, but we're having fun with it. My last announcement before we get rocking and rolling. The book is officially out. Woo! Thank you guys for all the support. A bunch of the Patreon members got options to buy it early if they wanted to, bunch of them did, and I already got some reviews on the book. Very enjoyable. It's Living UFOs, the Ocean Above Our Heads, a study of atmospheric biology. It is a intro into the subject. You guys, long-term listeners, know how much work we've put into the organic UFO stuff. And we're going to cover a lot of that today in the UFO hearings. But this book is to serve as an intro into the theories, the science behind it, but in a palatable version. Because the first process I was just too dense for the general populace to enjoy.
Yeah.
So this whole first book, and is going to be a part of a collection of books, was designed to get you into the subject or get somebody into the subject in a palatable form, an easy read form. And then the next books will be, this one's very scientific, but the next books will be much more data driven.
Data driven, more in depth.
More in depth.
This is just a very a good overview to introduce you to the subject and get you familiar with the terms and the beings that are involved. And so when you do talk about it or you hear about it, you have a basic understanding, a basic knowledge to at least absorb the information.
A bunch of encounters in the book from I think the oldest one in the book is maybe 18, 19, something like that. Maybe edge of 1700s actually.
There could be one or two in there.
I think whatever the meat shower was, the meat shower and the bones.
Oh yeah,
those are the old ones. But yeah. So thank you guys for everybody that's bought the book, that's buying the book. You can get it at cryptidscorn.com. There's a tab that says books. Go there. You can buy it. You can get it signed if you want. And if you even want, I'll draw a little jellyfish in there for you.
Woohoo!
I think pretty much everybody's opted for that. So that's fun so far. If you're international, I think I got on the website where it has the shipping for Australia and most of Europe. If you're outside of those ranges and if you want a signed copy, just message us. I'll make it work. We'll figure it out. That's what the Australians did, and I got it fixed. So, yeah, if you don't want to do that route, you can also buy it on Amazon, which I prefer if you buy it through us. We make more money, but you also get it signed, and it's a prettier copy.
That is true.
The Amazon is more muted colored, but if you're someplace where it's $50 or $60 for me to ship you the book,
right? Yeah,
and Amazon prints it down the street. Just get it off of Amazon. That's what it's there for. It's for those, you can't get it through us and you still want the book. Get it through Amazon. Anything else?
I think I pretty well covered it.
All right. Let's get into the congressional hearing.
All right. This is big deal right now.
I just want to say, first off, I hate it. I can't watch these things. That's why we've never done an episode on them.
It is hard to watch.
I don't know. It's my brain. I need to be moving. Even if I'm not moving, I need to be actively thinking.
Right.
They talk. They drone on. It's so slow. This behind closed doors. We can talk about that in the secret room.
Saying a lot without saying anything.
In the secret room. We'll talk about that in the secret room.
Right.
If I would have done a shot, every time they said that, I'd have been dead about 2 minutes into it.
Yeah, it wouldn't have took long, would it have?
No, but so I have a little article from USA Today that kind of gives, a branching over of it.
Overview.
Yeah. And then I have a Department of Defense article, I have the papers. And then I have the UFO hearing papers.
Okay.
I have several things we're just going to go over. This may be a little bit of a longer episode, but there's a lot here. And then I have my list of key points that I kind of pulled out from the stuff I watched.
Nice. Okay.
And then I know you watched some of it too. And you'll just, we'll just kind of go over it together.
Yeah.
Before I get started, do you have anything?
Just overall, they used a lot of language that I thought was just odd. Yes, odd, but it was just it raised my curiosity of why they chose certain language. That was one thing that stood out to me, which I'm sure we're gonna dive into that a lot. That was the main thing that for me just watching. It's just okay, they're trying to say stuff here without saying anything, obviously. But the terms they ended up using or settling with over and over, and one of them being, we'll talk about that behind closed doors.
I wanted to shoot a hole in the ceiling.
That was a bit much. Excessive.
And we're not going to do a lot of episodes like this ever. I don't enjoy them as much as just, nobody here trusts the government. If you're listening to the show, you don't trust the government. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Libertarian. It doesn't matter. You really probably at your core don't trust the government.
That's probably a good main part for both of us before we discuss this is I don't believe what they're saying is 100% honest at all.
So
But I think they're using certain terms and stuff to,
very good at answering questions.
yeah. They're good at beating around the bush.
Because not all, yeah, they're very good at answering questions without anything.
They're good at satisfying the question without any substance.
And then so anything else? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I mean, that's about it. I mean, just before we actually get into actual details, what was said, but overall, that's my main things to focus on.
So the first article we're going to use today is USA Today. Congress heard more testimony about UFOs. Here are the biggest revelations. On Wednesday, a new slate of witnesses provided fresh testimony to Congress UFO sightings and what the government may or may not know about them. A lot with the ocean. There's just a lot with the ocean, and then people dying. It just, the stuff they said and then wouldn't say just made me crazy. Because you said that, like, you could say, yeah, people have died as a result of UFOs. People are critically injured and on government payroll because of UFOs.
Right.
But then you couldn't answer the next question.
Right, yeah.
So how, if this is all real, how bad is that answer?
Right, exactly.
The question of whether or not intelligent alien life visiting on Earth or whether the government is covering it up is no longer a topic revealed solely to conspiracy theories to debate. Congressional leaders continue to pay serious heed to the possibility that not only are unexplained objects violating U.S. airspace, but the military has spent decades covertly recovering the craft to bolster our own technologies. On Wednesday, a new slate of witnesses provided fresh testimony on the precise these concerns during a joint hearing of the subcommittees of the House Oversight Committee, and the hearing which surpassed 2 hours. And it was hard to watch.
Yeah.
I think I got through, I'm going to be honest, I think 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I hopped around. I had to hop around.
Same. I watched just a couple overviews of it.
I watched the opening, the ending, and then chunks
of the people giving their,
Yeah. I just couldn't sit there. And I think that's maybe on purpose.
I would believe that, yeah.
Subcommittees hearing expressed 2 hours representing Congress's latest foray into the topic of UFOs following another round of testimony of July of 2023. So last year's big one,
David Grush, was the big main
and they
witness.
talked about David in this one a little bit. The hearing titled "Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena."
Banana, no,
I know.
Phenomena.
Dun, 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 dun.
Unidentified anomalous phenomena.
The UAP acronym is the official term for the government now uses to refer to the unexplained phenomena, arguing that it is less loaded and stigmatized than UFO. Because you're the one that did it, government.
I was just going to say
you're the one that stigmatized it.
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, okay.
I'm going to try not to get mad. It's been a long time since we've had a me getting mad episode. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last one.
Look, the government, the official term. Sandhill Crane was a big one, but
that was a long time ago, yeah.
The UAP acronym is the official term the government now uses to refer to the unexplained, arguing that it is less loaded and stigmatized than the UFO. Because you were the ones that
stigmatized it, yeah.
You're the ones that buried people for saying that they seen a UFO. But it also accounts for the fact that witnesses refrained on Wednesday. Many sightings of these objects are in the water. Bum, bum, bum. Legislators have spent the past years pushing new laws that would boost UAP transparency, and one seeking to create a civilian reporting mechanism, and one direct to execute the branch to declassify certain records. So before I say this, before we continue, that is one thing that we're talking about, trying to create a platform for civilians to report UAP sightings more easily. You can say whatever you want about the UFO groups. There are plenty of UFO groups that already have this for decades.
MUFON's the biggest one.
MUFON's not a monster in a bad way. It's a monster in a player in the field.
Yeah, it's huge.
MUFON has tens of thousands.
They've been doing this for decades, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With researchers that go out and investigate. We've met a couple of MUFON researchers. They're awesome. The people that actually go out when you see a UFO and they'll come out to your area, you've seen it, and just take your report. So, like, in any of these big organizations in the paranormal field, there's people that like them, hate them, whatever.
Right.
And I have individual opinions on many people throughout the MUFON organization. But as a whole, I think it does benefit more than it does negative.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
So, yeah, I just want to say, this is making me mad. We're just the reprieve. By elected officials and UAP transparency advocates saying that this is not enough. Okay. Today's tops. Oh, sorry. I was reading the wrong thing. In her opening remarks, Nancy laid out just another hearing as we needed, a call upon transparency for the executive branch and intelligence agencies that have long been guarded the classifying UFO information. One of the Department of Defense's and the Pentagon headquarters, Macy said the organization's reputation for secrecy is not on track record with instilling trust among the public.
Okay. So
Do you get what do you get that means?
Yes.
Nancy Mace, I think is her last name.
she
Mace?
wants them to be more transparent to help build the gap of trust.
She's also calling out the Department of Defense and the Pentagon
Yes.
because their reputation of secrecy is not going to instill trust into anybody in the public.
Correct.
And I do agree with that sentiment.
Yes.
That everybody knows the Department of Defense is a war machine.
Oh
that
yeah.
is hyper-industrialized.
Oh yeah.
They even talked about it giving... Do any private government contractors have the materials? We'll have to talk behind that about that, closed doors. Signed
Oh my
NDAs.
gosh. Yeah.
They said that.
Yeah.
They said that do these government contract companies, so you can't Freedom of Information Act, do they have the UFOs that you guys recovered? Can't talk about that. It's
Right.
not NDAs. But you did recover UFOs, yes.
Right. Yeah.
Where'd they end up?
Can't talk about that.
Well, some of them, no, I think he did say, some of them ended up in, government facilities. What about the others?
Right. Yeah.
Can't, NDA.
That's a nice wall to hide behind.
I do think, which I don't know. There's no way to do it. There's no such thing as a perfect law, right? I do think there's some way we should be able to break, if Congress calls you up to testify, I think you should be able to break an NDA.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
But
Congress,
that is a slippery slope, though, that
True.
An adversary could twist into
Yeah. True.
a hearing to get you to reveal company secrets.
Yeah.
So I get why you can't do that. Like I said, there's no such thing as a perfect law.
No, you're right.
You can't do everything to satisfy with no bad side effects.
Right. You can't satisfy everybody. It's impossible.
All right.
I'm in the food service industry. I know how that is.
The reality is, despite their enormous taxpayer-funded budget, the transparency of the Department of Defense and intelligence community has been abysmal, Mace says. And this is the first time I've ever heard her talk. I think some of her, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about a lot of these people.
Oh, agreed. Because you want to, the ones that are fighting for it, you want to feel like their heart's in a good place. They want actual knowledge, but then at the same time, they could just be playing a role.
I think she didn't know what questions she wanted to ask. I think she knew what answers she wanted.
Okay, but didn't know how to ask the questions to get there.
Because the council was such a good talkers.
Oh yeah,
It was very hard, and they 5 minutes. They had 5 minutes. It was all 5 minutes.
Okay.
It was all 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes to ask your questions to a panel. So it's designed in a way where you're not going to get in depth in anything.
Yes.
Glenn Grothman, whose subcommittee held the hearings along with Mace, had this to add: "We cannot shy away from the unknown when when the stakes are so high." The email about UAP wiped from accounts retired Navy Rear Admiral says. Timothy Golubot, an American oceanographer who was once acting administrator of NOAA, which we talked about NOAA a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He got a first-hand confirmation of UAP were real in 2015 when he was working for the Navy. During his time exercising that year, taking place in the East Coast, he described an email he had received as when he was serving as U.S. Navy's chief meteorologist. The email warned about multiple near-mid-air collisions and attached to a now declassified video of UAP captured the NFA-18 fighter. So we all know that.
Right.
So he got this email that was saying, "Hey guys, we have to watch out for this," because he was the head of the what did I just say? He was an oceanographer, but he was the head of
NOAA. Not NOAA, right?
Chief meteorologist.
There we go. Sorry.
So they were warning that things are almost hitting our fighters.
Near miss collisions. Is that what they said? Because that
let me read that.
always felt like an oxymoron or whatever that word is.
Multiple near mid-air collisions.
Near mid-air collisions. Okay, never mind. So it wasn't near miss. Near mid-air collisions.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So these things are just messing in with all kinds of things.
Okay.
Like we talked about last week on Patreon, the Big Sur incident.
Right, yep.
Where they were literally, guys, I did this. I built the thing. Here's the parts. Call the people. And they're calling me a liar. And then they're like, well, it did happen, but there's no footage.
Right, yeah.
Well, there is footage, but we can't find it. Here's a picture. Like, what?
Right, yeah.
You just called this guy a liar for 40 years.
Isn't that-
Ruined his career.
Right, yeah. And you know, this is very similar to like Bob Lazar now.
And I really don't know how I feel about Lazar.
Right.
I do not know. Any given day, it's like my opinion on Bigfoot. If you ask me, I'll be like, yeah, Bob was 100% real. Everything he said was probably accurate. You ask me tomorrow, I'm going to tell you that he's a government plant and it's a shill. I don't know.
The only thing we do know for sure is that he did build that car, the rocket engine car.
That's the only, yeah.
They did suppress his
College degree.
college degree, yep. And even that article they tried to suppress about him building that car. But obviously he saved it and stuff. But just weird and
He didn't save it.
He didn't?
They had to go to some random library
Oh, to pull it out.
and pull it out. It was in a library collection. That's the
Okay.
only copy that they could find.
Okay. Then yeah, that I misremembered that. But either way, that's what we know for sure. So are those all setups for him to make him appear like credible, or is that actual things that they're doing to try to suppress him? Because he is credible. I don't know.
So, last little bit. Retired Rear Admiral U.S. Navy testified that the intent of the email was to ask if anybody was aware of classified technology demonstrations taking place. But the next day, he said the email disappeared from his account with no explanations. So, basically, the head meteorologist was emailing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we got near mid-air collisions.
Yeah.
Is there something going on I need to know about? Because you're ruining my test.
Right. Yeah.
And then the email was scrubbed.
Just gone. That's odd, huh?
And then that guy died, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Very quickly. He described this disinformation campaign among the highest levels of government, including the Pentagon's Office to Investigate UFOs, to discredit reports and whistleblowers who make them. The Office of All Domain... Okay, let's read this very slowly.
Yep, here we go.
The All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, the AARO.
Arrow.
Yeah, the Arrow. And everybody's heard the Arrow, and I never knew what it stood for. I heard Arrow, or whatever. Never knew. Issued a report in March saying that they find no evidence that UAPs were extraterrestrial.
No evidence at all, huh?
Not that they're extraterrestrial, which...
You said, that UAPs are extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're probably right.
I probably agree with that.
What evidence would we have? There is no evidence. I mean, we supposedly have never found any, like, little green men, in them. And then when we have, who's to say they're not just from here? Because that's what I think.
Or dead jellyfish babies.
Or something like that, yeah, for sure.
Roughly humanoid.
It,
Also testified about... the retired guy also testified about imagery of UAPs captured in 2017 that have not been shared with Congress. He declined to divulge where the images were taken, but when questioned, described them as being dish-shaped objects. Pressed about what he thinks these objects were, that he observed were, he said non-human higher intelligence. That's just his opinion. After the stuff he's seen, the stuff he heard, what he thinks.
I wonder what that means, though, non-human higher intelligence.
Aliens, demons, jinn, elephants, whales. I don't know. It could be anything.
Yeah.
That's what my point is. It means nothing.
Exactly. That's what I'm kind of getting at, too, by asking. I mean, what
Higher
does that
intelligence
mean?
than humans as a whole? Higher intelligence than, like, Chuck down the street?
And what, like, if I don't know if things are of higher intelligence. I think we are the highest intelligent, as a whole thing on the planet.
I don't personally agree with that.
What would be higher?
You don't even want to know.
Octopus?
Fungus.
But they can't, like, walk.
They don't want to.
Yeah, well, they can't build a gun.
They probably can. Right now, they're plugging the next man-made horrors beyond our comprehension. They're plugging them into computers, and the fungus now has access to the internet.
Have they built a demon core?
They've ordered the plutonium.
And shoved a screwdriver in it?
They've ordered the plutonium.
And then dropped it?
Yeah. See, they're smarter because they're like, we could build that, but how are we going to hold it apart?
Oh, man. Have they built a nuclear reactor that melted down and destroyed, like, an area that you still can't go into?
You can't. You can go back now.
You'll just die when you leave.
Don't eat anything from the ground.
Yeah, or touch the soil.
Because it's really heavy, so it just keeps... I think they're rebuilding in the areas.
Oh.
Now, because I think the particles have sunken into the soil enough that...
Yeah, we can't dig no wells.
We're coming up on that 100 year. I wouldn't dig a well, no.
Yeah.
Elizondo says, we are not alone in the cosmos. When former Pentagon intelligence officer David Grush testified in 2023 that he said under oath set off firestorms. Among Grush's claims, offered little evidence. Once again, this is a USA Today article. Were alleged shadowy, multi-decade Pentagon programs to retrieve, study not only downed air spacecraft, but extraterrestrial pilots. And I'll argue with the article a little bit. He didn't say extraterrestrial. Grush was pretty hardcore non-human biologic pilots. He said that they did recover pilots. Didn't say they were extraterrestrials.
Correct.
Grush also accused the Pentagon under oath of being aware of these non-human biologic activities since the 1930s, hiding the program from Congress when misappropriated funds and to operate it, which I 100% believe that the Pentagon is hiding quadrillions of dollars.
Well, no, wait a minute. Okay, let me just go back to debunk your thought right there, just right now. We got to stop you.
$5,000 hammers.
There's that, but let's just go back and look at September 10th, 2001. Donald Rumsfeld announced that the Pentagon had missing, what was it, $3 trillion, something like that? Or
it was three. I think it was 3 trillion.
3 point something trillion with a T, trillion dollars missing. That we don't know. We don't know where it is, but we'll get right to the bottom of it right now. Next day, quote unquote, plane hit the Pentagon building in the direct spot
where those records
are supposed to be stored and held and taken care of and recorded. And on top of it, there was no plane wreckage where that supposed plane hit.
Disappeared.
That's weird, but that government wouldn't.
And everybody was out at lunch.
Yes, the government wouldn't lie to you. So
wasn't that real? Wasn't everybody out at lunch?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Wasn't it weird? Because nobody got hurt, right?
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird.
The whole side of the building was
destroyed,
was on the other side of the
exploded.
Pizza, I think they had.
Oh, maybe, probably a pizza party or an ice cream party or
something. Guys, you're gonna hear a loud bang in a minute. Just ignore it.
Right? Yeah, we're maintenance.
No, the $5,000 hammers. Everybody didn't know. I can't remember. This is a long time ago. Somebody had kind of was just like trying to prove where all the money was going, and they were like showing that the government was budgeting like $5,000 for one hammer, an individual hammer. It wasn't a special hammer. It wasn't like a space hammer. Like,
no,
it wasn't made of like Trillium or
No, it was probably a Walmart brand Cobalt hammer.
It was just a construction hammer for like a base. And there was like $12,000 toilets and like not to install a bathroom.
No, to purchase the toilet.
So they're like, that's how they're hiding money.
Oh, laundering is what it's called.
Where was I? Though congressional leaders have no... where was I? Now you made me... Luis Elizondo, a former military intelligence officer who resigned and went public in October 2017 after 10 years of running the Pentagon program to investigate UFO sightings, still made it clear that much of his work remains classified, considering how much he can say. Which I don't know... I think he may be a shill still.
I'm not totally against that thought either.
I don't think you can not work for the Pentagon after you work for the Pentagon.
Mm-hmm. And then come out publicly and disclose this stuff, because history shows us anyone that does that usually gets very depressed and commits suicide with 2 gunshot wounds to the back of their head.
We probably should give a warning before we go into that.
Oh, maybe.
No, it happens a lot, though.
It does. Sorry for anyone listening, but yes, those things happen. If, for example, investigate Seth Rich. All right.
I don't know that one off the top of my head. In his opening remarks, Elizondo said that the intelligence community, for its decades of excessive secrecy around the UFO report or UAP reports, all hide the fact that we are not alone in the cosmos. He says this: I believe as an American, we can handle the truth. I also believe the world deserves to know the truth.
One, I agree with both of what he said at the second part. We can handle the truth, I believe, and I think we deserve the truth. I 100% agree with that. What I disagree is this extraterrestrial pilot. I just don't agree.
Elizondo's concerns relate to national security, resting in the fact that much of the reported UAP activity has been around military bases and nuclear power sites. Weapon sites also. He also claims that the U.S. is a possession of multiple UAP technologies, and some of it are our adversaries, and some of it is owned by our adversaries as well.
There you go.
This was an adversarial technology. If this was an adversarial technology, the world would be an intelligence failure eclipse like that of 9/11 in the order of magnitude. He adds this, that Grush claimed Many of the government UAP programs operate without proper congressional oversight, which is 100% accurate.
Yes.
Well, the second part
Yes.
about the government
Operating without oversight.
nobody knows these UAP things exist. All of these groups do is try to make people that see UFOs, that research UFOs, seem stupid and nuts and get them to infight when they're on the back door looking at it. I mean, what was it? It was Project Grudge, then Blue Book, and then I don't even remember all the acronyms. That, they've never stopped. They've never stopped.
They shut one down and then rebrand it a new name and run it under that new name and keep everything going. But they just shut the old one down and then they say, look, we're done. Look, that department's done with. We're not have nothing to do with it.
And as may have testified before, Elizondo recalled that the objects observed have often outmaneuvered U.S. aircraft and were flying well beyond the capabilities of known human technologies. In fact, he altered that one secure email he observed that they were using the word stalking our aircrafts or stalked, which I have comments about later.
Yes.
One of the pilots describes a lot of predator-prey reactions.
Like an organic angler, perhaps?
Until it got too close and realized that the thing was made of metal and decided it wasn't edible.
Oh, okay.
But yes, that did happen. One of these fighter pilots got chased down by what appeared to be an organic-shaped UFO. Mm-hmm. And then once it got close enough to realize it wasn't food, it left him alone. Like it was completely. He's like, it's hunting. It's that the guy was talking about. It's stalking us. It's stalking us like a big cat.
Yeah.
And then once it got close enough, it got right up on him. And then it's like, okay, that's not edible.
And you said something there that maybe something. What'd you?
I'm almost done with this article.
Okay, well, just finish it then. Then I'll give my thoughts.
I got two more little subsections.
Okay.
Because this article I found was about the best one that
overviewed
kind of chunked up because it was 2-hour hearing.
Oh yeah, packed full of
constant stuff.
Yes.
So and then I have a lot of other stuff to get into. Like I said, this is going to be a little bit of a longer episode. Witness that government sitting over the trove of UAP imagery. One or more compelling revelations from the report shared by journalist Michael Schellenberger. Is that how you say his last name?
Yep.
Okay. About the shadowy UAP program created in 2017 following the New York story exposing another top secret Pentagon program. So they're saying that they created a different program once the one got found out. That's what the Pentagon does.
Just like we said earlier. Yep.
That's what they do.
Just
Schellenberger, who published a public newsletter on Substack, claims sources have told him that the intelligence communities are sitting on huge amounts of visual and other information about UAPs. It's just a big pile of pictures of jellyfish.
Basically.
This actually changed my opinion on some of my thoughts with the organic side of it.
Okay.
I'm saving for the end. And they have, which is maybe not great because just wrote a book about it. Or maybe it is good.
Maybe it is, yeah.
And they have a very long time, and they have for a very long time, and it's not those fuzzy photos and videos that we've been given. They're clear or high resolution. You can easily see what these things are, he added. Asking how many images, he said hundreds, if not thousands.
Dang, okay. Which we know there's a lot out there. I mean, we have almost a century of them.
Now, this was this last little thing I have is probably the most interesting thing. One of my tidbits, I have like a list of like 15 things I pulled out from the hearing that I thought was hyper interesting. The NASA angle. Mm-hmm. Did you get to any of this when you were watching?
This is the gold guy, right? Yeah. Last name's Gold.
Which, don't trust him. Here's a hint. I don't trust any of these people.
No, and I don't trust anyone, especially
they're all former freaking Pentagon people, and then NASA.
Which NASA is just a revolving door for Pentagon or government officials.
Yeah, it's where you go to. Yeah. So when NASA released their own UAP reports last September, Michael Gold, the former administrator of the space agency, called on the organization to do more. So I don't know if he's good or bad. He was very do you hear him talking about NASA? Keep in mind this was one of the former directors.
Right.
Was very edgy about how he was talking. He was like NASA. He was. I have a joke in my notes about it. He was like very much singing NASA's praises, but he's also like, I know they have UAP records that they're not sharing, and they need to share them. And he was trying to. I don't know if it's because he still knows the guys that are heads, or if he's hoping to go back and work for him, or if he signed NDAs, or if he's playing us. I don't know which option is. If it's a multitude of a mix of them all. but he was calling them out, kind of.
Right.
As
Yeah.
maybe quote unquote as best as he could, saying, I know. He's like, I know NASA has a stockpile of UFO reports of data with these things. They have tons of. He kept using the word data. They have tons of data about this subject that they need to share with everybody.
Wonder if that's like a way of like hinting that they're going to disclose it. They're going to disclose something now that he said that, put it out there, but they're only going to pick like the things that are easily like explained away.
Machines.
Or yes.
When NASA released its own UAP report, like I said, NASA's investment into UAP research would make a powerful statement to the scientific community. The UAPs have to take it more seriously, Gold said, who was a part of the independent NASA UAP study team, testified. Many UAPs can often be explained away as drones or weather events, said Gold, which I thought was the dumbest thing.
Weather events?
Yes, he said swamp gas.
No,
not really, but
Oh, okay.
that's all. The whole time he kept saying weather events. All I could think of, are you trying to pull swamp gas out again?
This is the new swamp gas.
Are you trying to say swamp gas?
He wants to, but everyone's on the swamp gas.
I'm like,
now.
we all know, we all hate you, right? Like, that's all I'm thinking of. Like,
Yeah.
consider all the UFO people, he's singing to the UFO people. Like, we all hate you.
Well, we can discuss that in the back room.
Many Gold insisted they'd be better captured with instruments tailored to study the phenomena. So to prevent us relying on cell phones and or to prevent us from relying on cell phones and fighter jet cockpit gun cameras. And that's one thing I did agree with.
Those are the two sources of video we get?
Yeah. And I mean, would expect to study like the moon with a cockpit camera. Yeah, you can get a picture of it.
Right, yeah.
But what information are you going to really get from that?
Or a cell phone that AIs the moon and the camera.
That's a whole different thing. Yeah. So through this, though, I have trouble. So I have several things. That's kind of the basic of it, the generalized overview. It's already 40 minutes into the episode.
What?
Yeah. We're going to do an ad break real fast, and then we'll come back with more. Are you ready?
Yep.
You sure?
I'm starving.
And I'm here interviewing the great Bigfoot. And today, Bigfoot has prepared me a meal. Bigfoot, what did you make for us today? Ooh, fried porcupine on a stick, eh? Oh, grilled, sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, it's that. Ooh, this tastes absolutely delicious, Bigfoot. How did you create such a amazing dish? Oh, it's all in the seasoning, you say. Huh? Oh, so what's your secret ingredient? Oh, this right here. Flavors of the forest, Bigfoot breath. Raw garlic dust. Oh, this is raw, straight, freeze-dried garlic? No filler? Wow, this tastes amazing. Oh, you've got... Oh, and I'll try that too. What's that you got? Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'd never had deer heart, but let's give it a go. Oh, it's a little spicier. What's in this? Spicy raw garlic dust? Wow, also from Flavors of the Forest. Well, where can I find this? Oh, in the links below. So if you're looking to season up your meal today, why don't you go to the links below. Reach out to Flavors of the Forest at flavorsforest.com and get you a bottle of raw garlic dust or spicy raw garlic dust, also known as Bigfoot breath. Talk to you later.
That one still makes me laugh every time.
That was the most impromptu.
If anybody, we do everything in one take, whatever it is.
Just go for it.
It's how
Send it.
It's life, right?
It's right. F it. We'll do it live.
I have several things. There were just tons. The UFO reports. So the immaculate. Okay,
Conception?
no, but that's what I want to say.
Reception?
Constellation.
Okay, immaculate constellation.
That's the DOD. Michael Schellenberger's report. That's the DOD's group.
I already don't like it
I know.
with that name.
So that's the DOD's group that is specifically designed. Well, I'll just pull up the thing.
Okay. What constellation are they? I don't want to look at that in the sky.
It's just demons. They're just demons. They're all demons.
I would believe it.
So I'm reading from Michael Schellenberger's papers on the intelligence community. This document is a result of multi-years internal investigations into the subject of unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAPs, which I thought it was atmospheric phenomena.
Unidentified. Yeah.
It's anomalous phenomena.
Yeah, I thought atmosphere too.
And then the other term was technologies of unknown origins, the TUO, which pops up in these.
Haven't heard that. That's new. Two O.
TUO.
Yeah.
Technologies of unknown origins.
2O.
And then the non-human intelligences, the NHIs.
NHIs.
This investigation was undertaken in response to urgent and credible threats to the public good and safety of the United States of America, to provide to Congress through the UAP whistleblower mechanisms to establish that the FY23 National Defense Authorization Act and the FY23 National Intelligence Authorization Act. The date consolidated during these investigations, the summary reports open to non-public data held within the executive branch of the U.S. state government. The author obtained access to this information while pursuing their lawful duties as an employee of the Department of Defense. The public version of these authors' reports are viewed and approved, which we're going to talk about in a minute, for public release to the Department of State, the Bureau of Global Public Affairs. The results of this investigation are deeply disturbing. Elements of the U.S. executive branch have compromised to prevent the U.S. legislative branch from executing the lawful powers of governance in response to UAP, TUOs, and NHIs issued. The information provided by authors strongly suggests that the U.S. executive branch has been managing the UAP issue without congressional knowledge, oversight, or authorization for some time now, quite possibly decades. This criminal conspiracy keeps the elected government officials of the United States and the citizens ignorant to profound discoveries and dire threats ongoing with the existing UAP, NHI, and their technologies. So that's just one paragraph.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to absorb right
So
there.
basically what he's going in is his whistleblower,
Okay.
Schellenberger.
Yep.
Schellenberger wrote this. Was given to him by a Department of Defense worker.
Right. Okay.
Named Department of Defense. He's definitely dead now.
Or he didn't exist.
If this is any bit, if there's 5% of this is real, he's dead.
Okay.
I mean, he is the Department of Defense. They kill people
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah.
all the time,
Every day.
every day.
Literally
That's
every
like,
day. No
One
joke.
guy wakes up and he's like, I got to kill at least 3 people on this list today. It's a chore, but I got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, or hey, let's call up our buddies. We'll order some bombs and we'll go drone strike this country.
No, I'm talking on U.S. soil.
No, I know that too. Yeah.
They don't really bomb U.S. soil.
No, they don't do that. But Department of Defense kills people every day.
So what he's saying is that the executive branch, military, all that, the Department of Defense, have orchestrated this government, this department, to keep the elected officials from knowing what's going on behind the curtain and the public.
Okay.
Which,
So they're creating a buffer between all that.
Between quote unquote, which elected officials, there's no such thing as a normal politician anymore. I do not believe it. I do not.
As a
care.
what politician?
A normal, like a human, like a normal person going into office.
Still think
Thomas Massey's not.
Thomas Massey is. My friend Wilbur over at
Anyways, the government cut the mics. I don't know what happened.
DW Conspiracy Shack.
Check it out if you want. It's the dumbest show on the internet.
He does a great breakdown of Mr. Thomas Massey.
Sure. No, so it's saying that they create this buffer between the elected officials and the non-elected officials. So I don't know. I mean, it's Immaculate Constellation. It's just such a weird name.
It's a shill name.
So unambiguous evidence demonstrating the reality of UAP, NHI, and TUO technologies are made available to Congress by multiple independent UAP whistleblowers. This document is but one item of evidence brought to Congress. Much more exists and hopefully will be made available. In public versions of this report, information is organized into several categories of evidence, including the unacknowledgeable special assets program. We're gonna get into this whole document here in a minute. This is just like his little introduction to this stuff.
Okay.
Sorry, I clicked off. So the unacknowledgeable special access program, Immaculate Constellation, is an unacknowledgeable special access program, USAP, established following the public disclosure of ATIP and ASAP, programs by Luis Elizondo in 2017. So this is a brand new one. So after they disclosed ATIP and ASAP or ASOP, however you say it, by Luis Elizondo, they made this right after.
Okay.
Upon disclosure to Congress, it was determined that the USAP was corralling information have not been lawfully reported to Congress. So that these groups are making sure Congress is not getting. Anyways, primary mission is so this was created to control this information, discredit this information, destroy this information, and destroy lives dealing with UFOs.
Okay, yeah, that's not the same then.
This whole program is designed to destroy the UFO phenomena.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, it's not even close.
It gets and there's probably people that have died as a result.
Oh, okay, yeah, a little different.
That's why I was saying that the thing we were talking about, which I'll edit out a little bit. Anyways, the Immaculate Constellation is a primary mission is collecting imagery intelligence on unidentified aerial phenomena, a RV and RV reproductive vehicles, utilize task and untasked U.S. military intelligence resources.
Whoa, okay.
As part of the network of SAPs linked to non-human intelligences and UAP technologies, Immaculate Constellation acts as the nexus of collecting, analyzing, and disseminating intelligence for their activities, capabilities, and locations of anomalous aerospace threats and the origins of foreign and unidentified sources.
Jeez, that's a lot.
The intelligence within the Immaculate Constellation program primarily consists of high-quality imagery intelligence, which is IMINT, the corral measurement of signatures intelligence, UAP and ARVs within Earth's atmosphere. The collection platforms involved are a blend of task and untasked capabilities and low Earth orbit.
This is hurting my brain.
The upper atmosphere and military and civilian aviation altitudes and maritime environments.
What's that?
Water.
Okay.
Ocean.
Okay.
Ocean. It just
Thank
means
you.
It's a fancy word for ocean.
You're right. I knew that.
I know it.
You
they
switched.
hit you with a lot of these things.
Yeah, it just switched from upper atmosphere to maritime.
Well, that's what they're saying. These objects that they're dealing with
are that whole range.
From the low orbit,
Mm-hmm.
upper atmosphere, aviation spaces, which, as we talked about, is what we live in the troposphere,
Troposphere, yep.
to maritime activities.
Underwater.
And I don't know if it's the real vehicle, but they finally, video, they finally released, we've talked about it before, those UFOs chasing those, like, the giant military ships.
Out in the ocean?
Yeah. I just seen it this morning.
They released a video of it?
I think it got leaked, but I don't know if it's real. But the story was one of the ones that was...
Yes, the story. I'd never seen the video, though.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. It could very easily anymore, you know?
Well, shoot. Yeah, I mean, anything anymore. And like you said, non-human intelligence. Could that just be AI?
Sure.
Yeah.
It could be platypus. I mean, it could be...
Oh, yeah. I mean, it could be.
It doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean anything. So Immaculate Constellation pays particular attention to anomalous aerospace platforms that have been developed through the study and acquisition of technologies and unknown origins by foreign nations or other unknown entities. UAP and ARV signatures and prefer operating areas of the known program, enabling a degree of strategic awareness and warning. Finally, Immaculate Conception shows UAP and ARVs are operating around the globe, often in close proximity to very sensitive foreign assets and locations. The categorization of Immaculate Constellation as a parent of USAP with various children SAPs under the umbrella indicates a high level of
compartmentalizing.
Thank you. And secrecy. In effect, Immaculate Constellation serves as a central or quote unquote parent USAP that constellates observed in UAP and ARV activities detected by tasked and untasked collection platforms.
And we know the government compartmentalizes everything they do, every major project, like the Manhattan Project. I think Einstein didn't even realize what he was working on or building.
No, none of them do. They never do.
Exactly.
Like, they do a thing. They build a part.
And Bob Lazar, going back to him, talked about that a lot, how, the guys that were brought in to work on these or to, reverse engineer them.
Yeah, they didn't know
the
door.
Yeah, they didn't know what they were working on.
Here's a chunk.
Right, yeah. On
Tell
what
us
the
what
hole
this chunk
was.
does.
Yeah, exactly. Compartmentalizing. It's a huge it's a great way to hide knowledge, information, and technology in particular by compartmentalizing. People don't have the whole picture, except the guys at the top of the military that are probably being controlled by an even higher power. They're actually developing these things and building these things and using these vehicles.
So there's a couple more things in this article. I'm going to start moving a little faster. But it seems like a lot of this program's goal was to identify UFOs. And when it was dealing with the public sector, and this is me talking. This is what I've seen, and I could be very easily wrong. This is very new stuff that's coming forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think there's a high degree of lying taking place on both sides.
Okay.
Whether it's whatever, controlled opposition, lying, or people are being fed misinformation on purpose. And they may truly believe that they're sharing what
Truth.
they believe is truth.
Right.
But is not.
Right, yeah.
So I think there's a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes into imagery and intelligence and the types of things they're seeing. So I'm going to read you some of the things, some of the types.
All right, here. This is where it gets juicy.
And this is just his little 4-page thing, and we're going to... It's maybe a 2-parter. I don't know. We'll see if anybody likes this. These aren't the type of episodes I like, personally, because I get mad.
But you know what? You don't get mad, you get passionate.
I do get
and
passionate.
you know what? People crave passion, especially in today's world. We live in a passionless, carpet-covered heart world.
Do me a favor, everybody at home. If you can, buy my book. Just, I don't know. Little plug. Calm me down.
Where'd that come from?
I'd love to see a picture with you.
Actually, yeah. Acquire the book, however you may be. Maybe if for Christmas gift.
Acquire the book.
But with this episode and these things he's about to talk about,
I was going to say, wait till I read what's next.
I don't know, but I
You remember my prediction with the UFOs and UAPs 2.5 years ago it was going to happen?
Yes.
It's happening.
And if you don't know, go back to those episodes.
If you don't know, then I don't remember.
If you don't know, now you know, neighbor.
Okay.
That's how it goes.
So, Centercom, cuboid foundation of metallic orbs. So, USG's network of existing daytime FAV and daytime flare footage formations of around 12 metallic orbs skimming the ocean surface at high speed, dispersing in multiple directions.
Yeah, someone's skipping a stone. Come on. Easy.
I don't think you're wrong. The rapid and angle momentum of these metallic orbs are incomparable with known aerospace vehicles and were between 3 and 6 meters in diameter. They are opening segments of the footage is 12 metallic orbs flying in a tight cuboid formation. So they're flying like almost like 2 V's of geese.
Okay.
But back to back.
Mm-hmm. Like a rhombus.
There you go, like a rhombus. Metallic orbs flying in this formation. 4 orbs on each side arranged in 3 prolonged configurations, creating an illusion of a cube from a distance. So when you see it way off, apparently, these 12 items look like one thing.
Okay.
Because they're flying in such a tight
Like
formation.
a cyanophore.
Maybe. Stop using the words that I'm going to use.
Oh, sorry.
No, I don't care.
Okay. I'm just, biology. I
all
can't
the
help
orbs
it.
were white hot against the black cold ocean in the flare footage.
Okay.
So then they're filming in flare.
Thermal.
Yeah. The spheres created a finite atmosphere distortion around them with a heat simmer. So a contrail. So basically they're so hot that they are creating a distortion around them. So even if you were looking at them, you probably wouldn't see them. Is what it's getting at.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. The metallic orbs moving in the cube formation over the ocean for some time before rapidly breaking the formation in pairs. The sensory platform lost track of most of these metallic orbs as they ascended into high altitudes and accelerated in speeds, maintaining observation of the parametallic orbs continuing the original trajectory of the larger formation. So 2 went back where they came from. The rest of them broke off and went high up in the atmosphere.
When they say went back, like, what does that mean? Where they come from underwater? Did
They were skimming across the top of the water.
Right, yeah.
So whatever direction they came from, the main 2 went back.
I'm curious if they came from under the water, though.
I think they did.
And
that's what a lot of these guys are seeing, is that...
And here's what I'm thinking, too, that flight, I know I've mentioned it a few times. I just did recently. I can't remember what episode, but that flight, the Malaysian flight, MH370.
Yep.
And if you haven't seen that video at home, please look up, just Google MH370 flight.
I think I said it before last time we talked about it. Just listen to Tony's episode.
Yes, on the confessionals with Ashton Forbes. It's a crazy episode, but there's video footage of this, and it's filmed in thermal. Like, you can see it. It was filmed from 2 different angles. The airliner is flying, and these orbs come and circle. There's 3 of them. They circle the flight, and they're like almost in a perfect triangle formation around the flight. And they're as the flight is flying through the air, around the clouds, you see these 3 orbs circling the flight, and then bam, all at once, all of them, the 3 circles and the airplane. It's a jet airliner, just in a big flash, disappear. And there's been a lot of discussion on what's going on, if the videos are real, and pretty much all the evidence is pointing to the videos are 100% real. This really happened, and there's been a lot going into the cover-up or the explanation of what actually happened, why, and how it's, quote, faked and stuff like that. But I think 100% believe it's real. And this was over like Malaysia, but it was over the ocean. And I'm wondering if these orbs, whatever they are, whoever's controlling them, whoever has dominion over them, if they're releasing them from the ocean and they're just flying up.
I think a lot of these are coming from the ocean. I really do.
And like you said, these ones of these 12 like shot up into the atmosphere. So that's where these things were, up in the atmosphere and circling this plane. And just how you described them on his description there, 100% exact same thing as seen in that video. And I can almost guarantee that MH370 flight was not in the congressional disclosure at all.
Oh, well, let me keep reading because there's a lot.
Okay.
So.
I don't know, but I'm just willing to go out on a limb and say that.
Next one he has is intelligent vessels positioned to collect on reproduction vehicles. On USG's network, okay, I'll make sure. USG's network of existing infrared footage of imagery, a grouping of vessels engaged in stigma and mastis collection at night in a specific area of the Pacific Ocean. In the footage, which in close proximity to the vessels, a large equilateral triangle UAP suddenly appears directly over the ship. 3 bright points are seen on each of the bottom corners of the UAP, which observes to be slowly rotating in a horizontal axis. The rotation partly reveals the horizontal bar of sweeping lights. Intelligence analysis associated with this event, specifically that the equilateral triangle is a reproduction vehicle, an RV, and concludes that the vessel must have been aware of the RV's frequency use of these coordinates.
What's a reproduction vehicle?
You may have to look it up because I haven't seen that, like a definition of that word yet.
It's
used through these papers all the time. An RV, which I thought was a remote vehicle, but for this it's saying a reproduction.
Okay, reproduction.
But I don't know if it means a reproduction as in they rebuild it. They found a ship and they rebuilt.
Okay.
So it's a man-made version of whatever crashed or they found.
Okay, let's see here.
Or if it's a ship that has babies.
That's what I keep sound like. Oops. I'm on Reddit here. Oh, man. This guy says, oh, wait, never mind.
All right.
For some reason, Reddit will not open that page.
So let me finish this and we'll look it up.
Okay.
The triangle reproduction concludes the vessel must have been aware of the RV's frequent use of these coordinates due to the foreign preposition of advanced collection assets in the exact time and place. So they're saying that somebody knew that this thing visits this spot a lot. After a brief period of hovering and slowly rotating approximately 500 to 1,000 meters above the ocean, the RV suddenly disappeared and the footage ends. So just blinks out of existence.
Just like in the MH370.
Next one. Equilateral triangle UAP tails unwitting vessels. The USG network of existing infrared footage of equilateral UAPs approximately fighter jet sized, hovering less than 200 meters above the vessel, the night and the location in the Pacific Ocean. Intelligence analysis associated with the event specifies that the equilateral triangles are an ARV or an RV of unknown origin. These vehicles give off no signs that they're aware of the ROV maintaining altitude directly above overhead. 2 lights on the underside are visible, while a third one blocked from view due to the slightly upward angle of the orientation.
Okay, so it's blocked the camera's view, basically.
But just stalking ships, tailing ships, following ships. Whatever, if you want to say they're interested or they're not, if they're just checking us out. It really depends on what they are, right? What the motives of these things are. So constantly following ships. They've been doing this since as far as I know, the 40s. Following big ships. Or ships end up under them. If they're specifically dealing with the ocean a lot, they may be getting in the way. The U.S. government may have been purposely putting these ships in the way of where these things go in and out of the water to see what they do.
Just to disturb them, just to see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe
Poke
we
the
don't
hornet's
know.
nest. Like,
Yeah.
put a battle cruiser out there and just see if they sink it.
Right, yeah, we don't know.
All right, listen to this next one. I need you to focus.
Okay, I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
Large disc using clouds as concealments.
Okay. So, okay, one of two things. Or is there more?
Oh, I have a whole paragraph, but you go ahead.
One of two things. Technology with cloaking, tech on it that would just be, cloudy, misty to appear as a cloud. Or it's a creature.
You said that, not me.
It's an animal.
You said that, not me. So, of the USG's network of existing OPIR footage, a large saucer-shaped UAP emerged from within a dense cloud formation. The saucer resonated a black hot against the white clouds. The atmospheric disturbance caused by the saucer-shaped UAP visible. The saucer was between 200 and 400 meters in circumference. Some of the biggest creatures in the book are about that size.
It's like it's bigger than Walmart.
I don't know, bigger than Walmart. Displaying a symmetrical concavities on the undersurface. The saucer-shaped UAP emerged at the shallow angle, traveling upward towards the outer atmospheric layers.
Okay.
After breaking above the cloud cover, the saucer-shaped UAP suddenly reversed its direction, descending parallel back into the cloud cover and accelerating rapidly out of frame, a partial obscurity by the cloud tops. This behavior was invasive in nature, and implied that the saucer-shaped UAP had become aware it was under observation by the space-based collection programs or platform. So that's what they say happened.
Okay.
I think, well, you may have guessed what I thought.
Well, yeah, I think, go ahead and say it because I already know.
I think they bothered a big animal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Disturbed it
And it panicked.
Yep. That's what big animals do. Like a big herbivore. They're panicky.
Some of these, some of them I do, and I want to make that very clear. Not all UFOs, not all these things on this list are organic creatures. At all. But some of these are. I don't care. Okay, you got something?
Oh, no, I mean, I think you're right I think you're onto something with this. And the way they're using this, like, colorful language to dance around it without actually saying it, it's just kind of odd to me. Maybe it's because we're, like, hyper-focused on this right now.
Yeah, no, it could be. I mean, we've done this, and I want to make it very clear that I'm getting a little excited.
Yeah.
The book just came out, all of that. 99% of this stuff I still don't think is organic. I do think some of these big examples are organic creatures.
Right.
I do not think all of these are organic creatures. I don't think the metal orbs that they described are organic creatures.
Right.
I don't think a lot of this stuff I'm about to talk about are organic creatures. But then some of them, they use the word jellyfish. I'm just saying.
Right, yeah. Ain't that just odd?
This big cloud one. Like, I can't tell you how many stories we've covered, how many stories we've researched where these organic UFOs are using clouds for cover. And I think that they produce the clouds. And I think some of the smaller ones are actually, like, well, you said earlier, cyanophores or colonial organisms that are much smaller, that they're tiny, and they form these, like, the cotton candy-like clouds. And we showed several videos of these things when we did the live shows.
Okay. Yeah, we did.
Remember the thick clouds?
Yep.
Like, you can see, like, it looks like fish are inside them. Mm-hmm. They're shimmering.
Yep.
But they're solid. And we have personal friends that have seen a cloud panic.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can't wait to get her story on here. Because you've seen a cloud crash, panic, and then hide during a thunderstorm.
Darting in and out of trees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's normal cloud behavior.
That's very normal cloud behavior. And this thing, they say it was huge, right? 400 meters wide, which is just massive, right? But some of our bigger ones in the northern part of the northern hemisphere are described as being about that size. And they're animals. They're at least animal-like behavior. And the way that they're talking about this, the people that reported this I just forgot his name, Schellenberger, describe it as being invasive in nature. And they didn't use the word animalistic, but the way they're talking about it really reminds you of life.
Yeah. Just regular old biology.
So next one, boomeranging UAP observed by pilots in sensory suits. On USG's network of existing flare footage of sweeping boomerang, that's the other thing, is a lot of these are caught on flare.
Okay, thermal.
And I think because we're talking about the organic ones, a lot of them are transparent, but they still have heat signatures.
Right, yeah.
So it's like...
Your naked eye wouldn't notice them.
or refractive. They may be refractive. So they may be bending light around them.
Okay.
There are several, we've talked about it with Bigfoot episodes. There are several animals that kind of do that. They bend the light around their bodies for various different reasons. Camouflage is a big one.
Would that pop up on the flare though?
You would still see it on the flare. The flare would ignore that. Just like it being transparent.
Okay.
The flare would just ignore it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I'm saying for the naked eye.
Oh, okay, understood.
Because if you look at a lot of these are flare, thermal,
Right, yeah. Okay.
So anyways, boomeranging UAP observed by pilots and USG and flare saw a sweeping boomeranging UFO or UAP maneuvering at an uncertain altitude at a location in the east coast of the country. The UAP tracked against the clouds by the sensory suite in an operating craft. The UAP was observed rapidly decelerating, stationarily hovering, followed by a sudden emission of a sphere of light that ejected from its two wings, which extended, partially engulfing the craft in the rotating sphere of light. At which point, the available footage ends.
Okay.
So you could say Pan Array, you could say Boomerang. Boomerang UFOs have been seen forever.
Mm-hmm.
These big, and then the black triangles came after.
One maybe technology, one maybe not.
I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. And I
either.
think that
I
it
don't
could
know
be
either.
a big myriad.
All of them. All
Yeah.
the above.
Yeah.
I did look up finally the alien reproduction vehicles, and it does sound like they're making it seem like it's like reverse engineered vehicles.
Okay, that's what I was my guess. I just,
And it's weird, like, because if you Google that specifically, alien reproduction vehicles, the same exact things like pop up, and it's just like it's most of them are now this current stuff that we're talking about right now. It doesn't actually say what these are, like what they actually are, like the definition, but that's citing like this certain hearing right now.
yeah.
And Schellenberger's reports and stuff like that. But then it pops up like how to build working UFOs. Like there's all these schematics and stuff that are popping up when you type in alien reproduction vehicle. Like it's been around for a minute. You know what I mean? Like that term. Is this just like a way of disclosing that we've already done it
Yes.
and without straight up saying it through
Yes.
colorful language? So it's-
Are they putting saddles on manta rays?
or that too, yeah.
I'm not even saying they're not doing that. They really might have caught one of these and like
It's like Avatar.
when they make a move they move really fast. How can we use it?
Maybe they're inside the jellyfish, man.
I just thought the same thing.
And that's
I can't
how
even.
how
I
they're
just thought it.
They're inside of them.
Put on a wetsuit and
Yep,
grabbing their guts and be like,
control them from the inside.
next one. Okay, I'm just gonna read this one and you just tell me what you think. Right?
Okay, 7.
Jellyfish UAP crossing the U.S.-Mexican border. This has been a hot one we've been talking about in the Patreon Discord group because it's a straight up jellyfish.
This is the one.
And it's not when I say jellyfish and I say manta ray, I mean the rough shape, right?
Right.
If we have newer listeners that haven't listened to the myriad of episodes we've done on organic UFOs, I want to put that out there that I'm talking the rough shape.
The body plan.
If you look at the jellyfish UFO, it does not look like a straight jellyfish out of the ocean.
Right.
It's very unique, but the rough body plan is that of a jellyfish. So the USG networks are existing flare footage of this irregular shaped UAP flying across the southern border. The UAP appeared in the flare to be modeled irregular with hot and cold emissions and approximated a jellyfish or floating brain with hanging appendages in its appearance.
Strange looking.
A jellyfish. It looks like a jellyfish.
Is this one just photos or is there video?
I've not seen the video. I've only seen the
So
photos.
it's just the photos.
But I don't know.
Right.
If-
I mean, I don't think I've seen a video either, but so I'm pretty sure. Then I'm thinking of the right one then in my head.
The UAP flew against the wind with no visible means of propulsion, maintaining what they say is an unnaturally rigid shape in its movements and its flight path. The maintenance of comprehensively low altitude to geological or geographical features. In appearance and behaviors, the footage of the UAP violates the airspace of the southern border, resembles the same class of UAP observed near DoD facilities in Iraq and Afghanistan, which is that famous video from a couple years ago. There exists at least one comprehensive video of this class of UAP sourced from the DoD Protection Assets to Threat ISR, which uses this footage as a point of comparison.
Okay.
So yeah, it literally this jellyfish-like thing floated against the wind, was releasing hot and cold emissions, thermoregulating probably.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want me to say? That the jellyfish,
That it sounds
cover of the book.
Sounds
It is
very
the cover
organic.
of the book.
Yeah,
They were like, it's flying, but not. It had tentacles hanging off it. How weird.
but not.
And it just seemed like a big brain floating out there.
But
Like its guts are all in its head.
Yeah.
Never heard of an animal like that.
Well, are they even saying it's an animal?
No.
That's exactly, yeah.
No. That's the thing I'll get shot for.
Well,
I'm not suicidal. I just want to put that out there.
Good.
I love my family. So if anything happens to me, it's probably, I'm going to guess the DOD. But there's several organizations it could be.
Let's just take all your ropes and hide them and...
I don't have a rope.
Okay, good.
I'm also very heavy, so the rope I do have would not support me.
Well, so if here's...
It's the potato flying around the room thing.
Okay.
What?
I don't know. It's just a funny visual.
Okay, I have two more, and then I don't know. We'll end the episode. We'll move on. We'll see how I'm feeling.
Okay.
We'll see how I'm feeling.
All right.
Because we're not. This is just a 4-page document. We're just gonna get to. I have a 212-page document, and then I have a 12-page document,
Okay.
and then I have just all my thoughts, and you have all your thoughts.
Yeah, there's a lot. This will probably be a 2-parter.
Yeah, we'll probably we'll cover this, and then we'll probably end the episode.
Okay.
Supersonic range folder intercepts USN fighter. On the USG's network, there exists flare footage and radar data of supersonic UAPs of uncertain characteristics conducting a head-on interception of a USN fighter operating on the eastern seaboard. The UAP is observed emerging from a cloud bank at extremely high speeds, approaching the aircraft head-on, rapidly passing over the aircraft's side of the cockpit. Radar data from the approach tracks UAP on its approach towards the craft, providing information on speed, heading, and elevation, which we have none of that. It's just not released, But once again, this is all the leak stuff to him.
Okay.
But yeah.
So the filtered stuff that he gets to filter out.
Yeah. So this UAP guns it at this fighter. It's going immense speeds and just barely passes over top of it.
Okay.
So whether it was a drone, which I've seen a lot of, and I don't even know what I think about the drone side of this stuff.
Like what is a drone?
What drone means,
Okay.
what drone really means, as far as when we're talking about the UFO side of stuff.
Okay.
So is it a highly intelligent drone operated, buzzing this craft, or I don't know.
I mean, imagine you put just AI technology in a drone and let it go. What do you think it's going to do? It's going to do some crazy stuff.
Right, but the fighter jet is also hit the mic. Fighter jet's also moving at extreme speeds.
Right, yeah.
So there's a whole side of it that the object really can't guess what's going to happen.
Okay.
Is the fighter jet going to pull off, and I don't even know if the jet's seen it. I don't have that information.
Probably not, yeah.
Once again, caught in flare footage.
Right, yeah.
The pilot may not even have known it was there.
Exactly, yeah.
Which, when you think about, and I don't know what I feel about the Skinwalker Ranch show, we're about to see those guys here, this week as we're recording this. I don't know how much I feel is real, how much I feel is fake. I don't know. I really don't know.
We don't know nothing.
But they had that happen when they were flying the helicopter, and they kept having an object where the helicopter reads how close it is to the ground.
Right, and
they kept having an object buzz underneath them.
Yeah.
And it was following them, and they were hitting things like it would. The one, once again, if you believe the show or not, that's a big thing. One of the bottles looked like it hit something in midair and bounced. So they were dropping the tracker bottles to see.
Camera trickery.
And it could be. I don't know.
It
could be. I really don't know. But let's say it's real, right? Let's say it's real.
Okay.
Then there was an invisible craft thing.
Something.
Underneath the vehicle, the helicopter, that they kept having. It was saying, 10 feet off the ground, back to 400.
Right.
10 feet off the ground, back to 400. Buzzing them repeatedly, dropping these bottles, and one of the bottles appeared to hit something invisible and bounce midair.
Yeah,
if that's real.
Yeah, explain that away, Michael Schellenberger.
Michael's the one that's saying, okay.
No, but you need to explain it. What is it?
Last one of this. The tic-tac detected by the space asset in proximity to a vehicle. The USG's network of existing OPIR imagery and mast imagery of the tic-tac UAP transmitted through the area of the Atlantic Ocean. The tic-tac maneuvers at an altitude at or near local cloud cover, and concealed electromagnetic signatures were collected.
Okay.
Invisible footage of the Tic Tac UAP transmits rapidly through the field of regret as it transmits transits the ocean. No observation is reaction. I misread that so bad. No observation is recorded.
There we go. Okay, that makes more sense.
So basically, this one, the Tic Tac had an electromagnetic signature. It was hiding in clouds. It came out of the ocean, but very few of that was seen by humans during that event.
Okay.
It was a lot of it was recorded by devices.
Gotcha.
So, and then we knew that from the Tic Tac, with the Tic Tac, that the incredible speeds and this stuff it moves at is just insane.
I mean, they talk about going from 0 to sea level up to 10,000 feet in seconds, like a blink of an eye.
So, one of the things, and let's just keep going. We'll kind of I think we'll just keep going. One of the things they talked about is the G-force, right? How many G's? And the one, I think it was Gold said it, right? So the NASA guy.
Yep.
He said it, and I'm trying to remember. So if I misquote it, I apologize. The number he's saying was asinine. That these things, the humans can pass out at 3 Gs, which is correct. Humans can pass out at anything above normal gravitational pull, G-force, gravitational force. You can do those centrifuges and stuff like that. Roller coasters, right, present Gs.
Right, yeah.
And people pass out on those because of the G-force. Or just,
right.
So they were saying that some of these craft, I think that fighter pilots are trained at, you may have to look it up, 10 Gs or 12 Gs or something like that, not to pass out.
Okay.
One of these crafts was recorded going 3,000 Gs.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
My point with that is, how could you even record that? You're barely catching these things on flare and radar. The ones go the radar, and that's in the book, talks about the differences of radar, of what these things are being caught on and what they're not. They don't show up on long distance radar very well. The big ones do. These fast little guys don't. As far as I know, the DoD probably has a whole file on it, but
we won't see it ever.
Yeah. Well, they may show it to me right before things happen. Just because.
Okay, just to
as long as I get answers, right?
Right, yeah.
No.
Karma. It's how karma works.
No, so that they show up on short-term radar, the close proximities. Normally there's a base, a ship, and the UAP was, the Tic Tac was happening with the fighter pilot. The ship was right there. So all of that. I have one more thing, and then we'll get into highlights, but maybe. Oh, it's acting up.
Uh-oh. They're coming for you.
I said DOD one too many times.
Yes, you did. The Department of Death. That's what they should be called.
And it's good radio.
No, I
got it.
I'm not trusting any. I'm appreciative that they're bringing this stuff up, but I have, I'm just have this feeling that all of this is meant to lead us down a direction and to hide the truth.
100%. I believe Patreon member Caroline put this in the group. This Adobe file from the Department of Defense. The Department of Defense Annual Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, Fiscal Year 2024 Consolidation Annual Report on Identified Anomalous Phenomena. So UAPs.
Mm-hmm.
So this is their report. It's about 12 pages. It is. I don't trust it because it's a little bit of an easier read than anything else ever come out of any of this stuff.
Okay.
Which I do not trust.
But it is an official government document.
Yeah. As far as I can find.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna pick some things out of it. I'll try to remember to post this on Facebook if nothing happens to it between now and then, because it comes out in a couple weeks. But the AARO, the anomalous research, totals and analytic adjustments. How many total reports did they have? In the air, they had 708 this year.
Wow.
In space, they had 49. They list 0 maritime and 0 transmedium, which I do not believe.
100% disagree with that. Because now, is this just reports in general? Just all reports?
The ones that they are working in.
What do you mean working in? That they get reported to, or that they're currently investigating, or what?
Okay, atmospheric areas of responsibility considered with the FFA's UAP report. So I think these are directly dealing with these are directly dealing with the FFA,
Okay.
the FAA. Oh my
FA,
gosh,
yeah, one of those two. There's
dyslexia is a real thing, kids.
well that, and you were probably in the FFA growing up, so
100%.
used to saying that.
Yeah. So these are the cases they get. They had 708 reported in the air, and then 49 reported in space. Cases closed, they had 49. Pending closure, they have 243. Undergoing analysis, they have 21. And actively archived, they have 444. So that's what they've had this year from FFA reports.
But
and those
zero
kind of
maritime.
The AARO resolved 49 cases during this reporting period. All of it's resolved in prismatic objects such as various types of balloons, birds, and UASs. In addition to 243 cases were recommended for closure as of June 1st, 2024. Pending peer review, these cases also resolve objects including balloons, birds, satellites, and aircraft. So this just seems like they're just using this to shut everything down.
Right, yeah.
And that's what we kind of talked about with that one, is just to discredit, destroy, what did I even call it? The Constellation one.
Yeah, Michael's.
Immaculate Constellation.
Immaculate Constellation.
So here's what they say, what UFOs are of their closed cases. 70% of them are balloons. Pilots.
Swamp gas.
70% of them are balloons. No, swamp gas is a different thing.
I know, it's just
Swamp gas is
ridiculous.
16%.
No, okay, come on.
Now, USAs, which I'll figure out what that is.
Like
in
that
a second.
balloon, that's the same thing that Robert said
I know.
from the Mothman
The
explanation.
freaking janitor.
The janitor of the science
It was
club.
the weather balloon.
That we built in science club.
Science club after school.
Wait, who are you again? I'm the janitor.
8% are birds.
Okay.
I don't understand.
That's a big percentage.
They're pilots.
They know what a bird is.
Sully hit one.
And did any of them chase down their
This bird stalked my jetliner at 10,000 feet.
yeah, going what, 600 miles an hour? I don't know.
It's a determined bird. It's a peregrine falcon the size of a jet.
There it is. Yeah, they exist.
Yeah, sure. 4% of them are satellites,
Okay.
and 2% are aircraft.
Okay.
And these are of their resolved ones. So this is from May 1st, 2023 to June 1st, 2024.
Oh, so that's the ones they investigated, and that's what they determined
Yeah.
was the answer to them.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, some of these, sure, you can.
I think the misidentification is a part of this.
Yeah. I was going to say, though, too, it's funny that zero maritime ones, because one of my friends was in the Navy. Yes, he's out now. But he was in the Navy for 8 years, I think. And he was always out, at sea. He said all the time, almost every night when you were out, when they were in the ocean at night, it's just
They would see you, yeah.
UFOs
Constantly.
all the time coming out of the water, about flying over, and it was something they didn't talk about it.
Well, everybody sees it, so it's fine.
Right, yeah. And he said, but it was kind of a thing on the ship. It's just everyone kind of knew. It was just like a feeling, like you just knew you didn't talk about it. You just didn't discuss it. And when you come back, you didn't discuss it. It was just brushed over. They had other things to do, other things to worry about. But he told that to me, and it kind of blew my mind. But it's just funny that they mentioned it in this. Yeah, but we got zero maritime ones. So maybe they got zero that they've solved. Like, those ones are too hard to explain away. You can't call that a bird.
These are coming from the FFA or
FAA.
FAA.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
So they're too high up.
Oh, to even see. Oh, understand.
These aren't. Yeah.
Yeah.
These aren't military. These are civilians reporting through that pilot. Because last year they're like, we have to create this system
Right.
for them to report. Don't worry, they're all birds.
8% of them, or however many it was. I don't remember.
So it's, oh my gosh, USAs. I'm trying to figure out. It said go to figure 2, and I went to figure 2, and it just keeps using USAs. So you talk for a minute while I read.
I mean, you're trying to figure out. What are you trying to figure out here?
What's US or UAS stand for?
Oh, what UAS stand for? Well, United Apes. Wait, I don't know. United Air.
United Apes.
United Air. And I don't know.
Well, it's what they're calling some of these UFOs.
Oh, wait. I think you said it earlier. Oh gosh.
I don't see it. It says go report to. This is good radio.
Report to the UAS.
So like I said, I want to give you these numbers. So I just whatever UASs are.
It's anomalous sightings.
Just will you look it up?
Oh, okay. I thought you were doing that.
I can't find it. It says in the figure you go here, and I went the Department of Defense UAS, an acronym. Okay, but yeah. So
Unmanned aircraft system.
okay, what a drone?
Basically, yes.
Okay, why put drone?
No. Come on.
So I'm going to read you what they said of their class. So here's what they said: 70% are balloons, 16% are drones, 8% are birds, 4% are satellites, 2% are aircraft. Of what these pilots are reporting as UFOs.
Okay.
So these guys are completely destroying. They created this avenue for pilots to feel comfortable to report sightings, and they don't have any anomalous thing listed. They've not found one anomalous thing.
Odd.
Hundreds and hundreds of sightings, not one anomalous thing. 708.
All explainable.
Now let's talk about the percentage of craft described. What the FAA pilots describe to the Department of Defense. Okay?
Okay.
65% of UAP seen are lights. 4% are cylinders. 4% are organic in shape. 22% are orbs, spheres, or generally round, large round. 1% is square/polygons. 3% is triangles, and 1% is disc. So birds.
Discs.
Which lights? We've seen lights reflect on birds. No, I'm not even joking.
No, I believe that. I was going to say.
I think the leaden lights. That's what Hynek said was a flock of geese, which I don't know. I think he recanted. That was one of the ones he recanted later. Of like, I had to give an explanation that was possible. Not but yeah, because the underside of snow geese, if you hit the lights, hit them right, they glow a little bit.
Wow.
Because they're white. They're pure white.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I want to talk about altitudes they're reported at.
10,000 feet.
Oh, I have the list of percentages.
Oh, sure.
So less than 5 kilometers, 8%. 10 kilometers, 6%. 15 kilometers, 8%. 20 kilometers, 17%. 25 kilometers, 12%. 30 kilometers, 7%. 35 kilometers, 9%. And this is where most commercial airline traffic is. 40 kilometers, 6%. 45 kilometers, 5%. 50 kilometers, another 14%.
Wow.
So they're looking up
Yeah.
and seeing things way above them.
Yeah.
Is a big percentage. So they're the biggest percentage is at 20 and then at 50.
Where's that zone?
About 40 kilometers.
Where the two where it gets warm again?
Oh no, it starts about there.
Interesting that the percentage just goes up in that
Yeah,
zone.
no, it's right about there.
Wonder
55 kilometers, 2%. 60 kilometers, 5%, and over 60 kilometers, 1%.
Wonder if there's some correlation there.
And weather balloons can go all the way up to about 60 kilometers.
Mm-hmm. And
They're weather balloons with tentacles. Don't worry.
right, and that's about the extent of the highest we can go.
No, then it's space. It's space at space is at 328 kilometers.
Or a dome.
Oh, whatever's there.
Yeah.
So they also list hot spots. These pilots are seeing them, which I thought was cool in this report.
Okay.
It's mostly, and there's 4 or 5 really big hot spots. It's the Middle East, like the Suez Canal area. It's India. It's the East Coast and West Coast of North America. There's a big spot in Alaska, a big spot around Hawaii, and then a big spot around Japan. And then 2 or 3 big spots just in the middle of the Pacific Ocean besides Hawaii.
What are you talking about? Hotspots, like sightings?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where a lot of these are reported.
Yeah. Dense sighting areas.
Really extremely dense. Like the canal area in the East and West Coast of America and Japan are super hot spots for UAP sightings. And that's, any flight issues? No, yes. People freak out. So these pilots are scared and trying to report, and they're just saying it's birds.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
They're just saying it's birds.
That's the news. It's just as bad as swamp gas. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we're going to, from these hearings or discussions, we're not going to get any true disclosure. I just don't think so. And they're going to use this to sweep it all under the rug. Like, look, we talked about it. It's a thing now. And I don't know what's coming, like what they're building up for. You got your theories and stuff with Project, what is it, Bluebeam? Project Bluebeam, where they're going to do a
I don't know. That's not no. I don't.
Not Bluebeam. What is it? Blue Book?
No, it's not any of me. That's
No. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying what they're...
Oh, Bluebeam then, yeah.
What they could be leading this up to. Well, whether they're going to fake an actual alien invasion and stuff. By using all these hearings and stuff, they might legitimize the idea that there's aliens out there and they're visiting here, and like, oh my gosh, ain't that crazy? And when the world's just at its most crazy point ever, it's going to get even crazy. Now aliens are here of all the time for them to visit us. But I don't believe that. I think whatever these things are, they know. Maybe not these people in these hearings. They might not know. They might just get whatever information's fed to them. But the people that are building these, constructing these, manning these, that own these, that run these, that are controlling these, they know what's going on. And I think they are the ones. They're from here. They're from Earth. It's not nothing out there, in my opinion.
So I just want to read one more thing off this, and then we'll get into I'll list it. I don't even know. UAS's observation reports near U.S. nuclear infrastructure, weapons, and launch sites. So the reports from the administrator of nuclear security and the chairman of Nuclear Regulation Commission has this to say. There's been in this year of study, 18 reports of nuclear security. He basically said that they've been around these sites. Here's some of the top ones. 10 of these reports, UASs flew over protected areas for determined less than 5 minutes. 2 incidents involved longer flights times of 53 minutes and an hour and 57 minutes, flying directly over a nuclear power site. Flight duration is unknown for the remaining 6 cases. 16 cases involve only one UAS, while the remaining 2 cases each report 2 UASs in this event. And once the UAS entered and departed a protocol area twice, almost taunting them. On-site security observation of UAS, at least half an hour of UAS case. On August 3rd, 2023, DB Cook Nuclear Power Plant security recovered a crashed UAS that was given to the Barron County, Michigan local law enforcement. Did you see what I said?
Mm-hmm. They gave it to the local law enforcement.
One crash on a nuclear base, and they gave it to local law enforcement.
So let's follow up.
AARO has no further information about this.
Okay. I thought you were going to say it's Smithsonian.
No, they just said that in this, they have this in this report hidden that
they recovered a craft.
One in Michigan.
Yeah.
Crashed at the nuclear power plant.
Hey, nothing. What are you talking about?
And the power guys gave it to the cops. They're like, I don't know. Well,
yeah, that's what happens. And then the cops are doing a thorough investigation, and they're getting to the bottom of this thing.
AARO has no further information on the crashed UAS.
You should stop asking questions. This isn't weird. This is normal protocol.
This is fine.
Yes. Why are you asking so much?
The last one. During October 10th through the 15th, 2023, the U.S. I hate acronyms. I hate them so much as a dyslexic person.
I can see your brain.
USPERBWXT.
Now, come on. That's another one of them groups.
Formerly known as a USPER Barracook at Wilson Nuclear Energy Fuel Cycle Facility in Virginia. We actually know people that live right by this thing.
Is this right by that mountain that's hollowed out and it's just a military base?
So observed a UAS flyover for 6 consecutive nights. Only one UAS system was spotted in each occurrence. There's no data to estimate flight duration. Basically, this thing kept buzzing. Just kept buzzing.
Virginia?
Yeah, just kept buzzing this nuclear power facility.
Probably just absorbing energy.
Just angry.
It's absorbing energy. It's a test.
I got my highlights we can kind of run through.
Let's do you have anything you want to go over with all that? That just no, let's I'll bounce off your highlights.
All right. Torpedo-shaped high speed in water, leaving the water, entering high speed than any other craft ever constructed. That's what they talked about a lot. Mm-hmm. These torpedo-shaped objects were leaving the ocean, sometimes buzzing ships and jets alike.
Fish.
Going at like Mach 30.
Fish.
Big fish.
Yes.
And all the people could say is torpedo-shaped. And then they asked me further questions. We'll have to talk about that behind closed doors.
Right, yeah.
Mr. Green read a leaked document talking about some of the craft. Oh, okay. So there's this whole thing, a whole bunch. If you look at these documents, they talk about organic craft. They talk about living craft. Like hundreds of times.
A lot.
Hundreds and hundreds of times. Mm-hmm. So, it just hundreds of times.
It's weird, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. They admitted NASA's hiding data. They said it.
Sorry.
They said it in very nice terms.
That they're hiding data?
Yeah. Because it was Gold. Mr. Gold said,
they should release this.
Yeah, but he said it very, very nicely because he still works with those guys. He was the head of the organization, but he still does the open team stuff with the S employees. So maybe it was a good thing. Like maybe he was just trying not to ruin those connections and still get that data out to everybody. Maybe he's a plant. I don't know.
I think he's just hinting at they're going to release. You guys should release this, guys. Like for real.
That's
like,
very.
Do this. You need to do it, and then they will, but it'll only be a very, very, very select, limited stuff that actually won't give us anything anywhere. But it'll satisfy people knowing now that NASA is sitting on data, and now they can release some of it, and then it'll satisfy people's curiosity. Oh, this must be all of it. They're releasing some. That has to be all of it.
100%. UAPs has just a billion pictures of high quality pictures of UFOs, UAPs. The Department of Defense has just a billion pictures of UFOs, and they're just not showing them to anybody.
Well, they got to work on their Photoshop still.
The UAP cover up by the DoD, the Immaculate Constellation.
Yeah,
that's a huge part of that. That they were talking. When I was listening, they were talking about that they are deliberately going through the public UFO sector to destroy researchers' lives, to destroy reporters' credibility. They were, and that what I 100% believe it. And they're doing this, and we talked about this years ago, saying that they're going to kill the UFO community. To keep that's my last point, and I'll save it for a minute. But they're going to kill the UFO community, and I know how they're going to do it, so people stop looking into it, and I know how they're going to do it. But yeah, so they talk about that. The DoD's covering this.
Right.
People injured by UAPs. People killed and injured by UAPs. People still being paid for their injuries by UAPs.
Move on. Next one. Next, please.
Well, they answered it.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, I know, but has people been killed by UAPs? Yes, he said. Can you elaborate? No. Have people been injured that are being paid off by the government by UAPs? Yes. Can you go into no? Or behind closed doors or whatever,
right?
All that stuff.
Translation. Yeah, one of our drones broke and landed on someone's head and squished them.
Or the dead jellyfish. People touched it and they exploded from venom.
That too, yeah.
And then the UAPs stalking jet fighters and then pulling off when they get too close.
Birds.
Yeah, big birds. Really fast big birds. That was one that stuck out to me just with the organic angle side of it. I cannot get over how many times living craft was said. Do you want me to go ahead and say my thing I've been waiting on?
Please.
I said this years ago. What's going to happen, and this I 100% am doubling down, and this changed my opinion on UFO sightings a little bit. That I think the 5% is actually probably 10%.
Okay.
Now it's the big reveal. That it changed my opinion.
Oh.
No, that what I think is going to happen is that they're going to stroll out a dead one of the organic UFOs, that animal. They're going to stroll out an animal and say, guys, look, all these UFOs, these weird things everybody's seeing, the upper atmosphere, they're upper atmospheric animals. The second this happens, 99% of the UFO community dies overnight. Because they're going to say all UFOs are these myriad of different animals from the upper atmosphere. And they're going to bring a corpse or one that people can poke and prod, that science, people, non-paid people can go look at it, big gelatinous or a hard-shelled creature like I believe the living disc are.
Right.
They're going to be like, here's a body. Here's a corpse. They're native. They're not aliens. They're not monsters. That's why they may be dolphin intelligent or, whatever they may say. I don't know. And then the UFO community will disappear overnight because it answers all the things. 99% of people, there's going to be the diehards that never give up, that nuts and bolts are still aliens. They're still 99%. Nobody's going to care anymore. Every time somebody sees a weird light in the sky, every time somebody sees a black triangle or a boomerang or the cubes, they're going to be like, oh, that's just one of those jellyfish.
Yeah.
That's just this thing, right? They're harmless. It's hard, and
that's going to be the bigger sell, too. They're going to have to explain how harmless these things are.
It will be easy, because I think some of them probably you shouldn't touch.
Right.
But they're just big piles. The big ones are just big piles of jelly. Those are the hard-shelled ones that may eat. But I think most of them are just filter feeders.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, it's like a whale. Like,
Right, but explain to someone, like, if they're in the ocean or their ocean, they see a whale,
but
they're
nobody
gonna freak.
Nobody cares about animals. By
Right.
that I mean, in the general scheme of things, it's so hard to get conservation. It's so hard to get people to care. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that this is a purposeful plant. They are using a very small percentage of UFO sightings and encounters to destroy the rest of the UFO community. I really think they're going to throw one of these things out in a flatbed in the next 5 years or something.
So mark your calendars, people.
I don't know. That's what I think. What do you think?
I think, well, yeah, you've been right on stuff like this before. So, I mean, I hope you're right.
I hope I'm not, because it's going to kill the UFO community.
Oh, I guess you're right. I mean, I hope.
I really believe I know that there are organic UFOs out there.
Yeah.
The people we've talked to, I mean, from Australia, from around the world, we've talked to Swedish people that have seen them.
Right.
Like, and they just, there is. I just don't think it's the whole thing. And I think the government is purposely going to sleight of hand thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look, they're just jellyfish. They're just manta rays. They're just.
I guess I'm saying I hope you're right, so people can reflect back on this and then we can be like, see, like, told you so. Like, don't fall for this. Don't eat. What's the expression? Don't eat the trash or whatever. I don't know if that's the right one. It's something like that. But don't fall for it. And that's why I hope you're right, because now we got something we said well before it even happened that we can look back on and say, look, here's all this.
If you listen, and it's a long time ago, Kill the Mockingbirds, the UFO Christmas special from like 3 years ago. If you listen to it, I said that this was going to happen then.
Was it Kill the Mockingbirds or Floating Mushroom?
No, it was Kill the Mockingbirds because Tony was there, Eric was there.
Okay.
It was the Christmas special we all did together.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And that's what I said in that they're going to start this is what I said that they were going to start happening before they bring out a body. Mm-hmm. Is they're going to start pushing out there the hints that these things may be alive. The hints that these things are hurting people when you touch them.
And now what they say? Living
craft.
Living
I
craft.
swear the words in this 212-page document, the living craft, I think, appeared hundreds of times.
Living craft. What's that say to you at home?
A living UFO.
Which is?
The title of the book.
Oh.
It's literally
available on cryptidsofthecorn.com. It's better than the Amazon version, I must say.
But if you have to get the Amazon version, I really appreciate it. We still get paid.
Right. But still, if you want a better version,
I'd rather ship it to you because I'll sign it to you and draw you a little jellyfish.
Right, yeah.
No, I mean, really, I really think this is what's happening.
Yeah. And you're getting it that first take here on Cryptids of the Corn podcast.
What do you think the other ones are that people are seeing though? What do you think these other things, these boomerangs, these orbs, these piloted or non-piloted,
as opposed to being an organic UFO?
Because I still am a firm believer it's less than 10%.
Yeah.
Less than 10% of encounters.
I still think there's a group, organization, beings, entities, or whatever out there that are pulling the strings of a lot of things going on around the world and a lot of world events and a lot of entities that want to take control and domain over Earth and human beings. And I think they may be creating what we refer to as aliens, the grays, the greens, the browns, all the different shapes and sizes of their typical aliens, the big head, black eyes, naked, no mouth, no sexual organs, those things, the piloted drones. I think some group, some not good group, an evil group, a demonic group, satanic, I don't know, but one that wields a lot of power and technology, and they're creating not only these biological beings, but they're creating these craft that they can navigate pretty much anywhere in the world in. And I don't even know if they're operating entirely on Earth, like in this dimension. It might be an interdimensional thing that they're able to travel back and forth through and manipulate time and space here on Earth and do as they wish to accomplish whatever goals they have. And I don't know what the end goal for them, if it is just to enslave humanity or control humanity or harvest our thoughts and emotions and feelings. Maybe, I don't know.
It could be that controlled opposition angle too.
What do you mean?
To fall under the one world government.
Yeah.
To create a fake enemy, to create this thing.
Yeah. I mean, that could be too. And
so that they're like, oh, we have to all band together because they're coming for us.
At the end of the day, though, there are these ships or vehicles, whatever you want to call them, drones, what do we say? Unmanned, I can't remember, UASs. Yeah, UASs. all those things. Someone's still creating them. They're not just popping up out of nowhere, you know. And I don't think it's something from a different galaxy, you know, from on the other side of the universe, traveling here.
Omicron Persei 8.
That's right. Lur from Omicron Persei. I don't think it's him traveling here. Dropping off his poplars, you know, for people to eat.
No, we stole those.
Well, oh yeah, you're right.
Because it was a breeding asteroid.
Yeah,
We
that's
just
right.
Took them.
That's right. They were little chicken nuggets.
They were babies.
Huh?
They were babies.
Well, I know, but they taste like
We ate
chicken nuggets.
38 trillion.
Yeah, oops.
So we'll need the same number in humans.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But either way, something's creating these vehicles. Something's creating... I do believe... I mean, there's the organic, naturally occurring things that you touch on in your book that I think are real 100%. But I think the actual ships or vehicles, whatever they want to be, I don't think they're from outer space, from a different planet, from a different, I don't know, biological beings creating these things, sending them here and exploring.
If they don't look like crabs, they don't believe it.
Right, there you go. There's a good indicator. I think it's something here creating them, whether it's government or something above them. Some secret tech, like I mentioned earlier, you know, trillions of dollars went missing back in 2001. Where's all that stuff? Where's all that money go? Is it just being laundered into politicians' pockets or to other places?
To make UASs.
Or is it going to make technology that we're using and not disclosing to the public? Because why would anyone in power that has vehicles that can go anywhere and do anything at this like faster than anything imaginable that public has access to? Why would you allow them to have access to that if you don't want the public to be empowered? You know, if you don't want the public to actually be in control of what's going on here on Earth and how human lives are living each day. I don't know. This is all like a bigger falls under an even bigger umbrella of, I think, control and people trying to take domain over the entirety of human beings. That one world government or whatever is controlling that. I don't know. I do believe it's happening.
All right, guys. I have been the great and powerful Mr. E.
And I've been Jay, clone something.
And remember, it was 2 hours ago. Remember, you can get the book at cryptidsthecorn.com under the books tab. All right, guys. Bye. Hey, guys. Thank you for listening to Cryptids the Corn podcast. Remember, the best way to support the show is share it with a friend. But if you are craving more of the J clones
and more from Mr. E,
there's always extra content on Patreon
and our paid member space on cryptidsofthecorn.com.
We'll catch you next time with more exciting, fun, and informative information. Bye.